Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the crash that is occurring right now on Bitcoin. On Tuesday, we discussed how a major corrective movement was beginning, and we talked about how we just needed to see a couple of more confirmations to see that kick off. We talked about how Bitcoin would need to drop below $66,000, and at that point, we would then have a great degree of confidence that a major corrective movement was occurring. Today, that has occurred. Bitcoin is currently trading at about 64,000, and we're going to talk about where it moves next. Brass tacks. I want you to understand what's going on in the market because I want you to make some money. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of pain in my life. In my adult life, in my life as a child, in my life as a teenager, in my life watching other people here on this channel. I've taught millions of you guys about cryptocurrency over the years. I have seen so much pain. And so much of it comes from not having your money right. You're broke. You got no money. You're giving it all to the bank. You're giving it all to the lender. You're giving it all to the vending machine. You're giving it all to employees that you could work without. You love them, but you don't need them. You're giving it all to so many different people. And let me tell you the consequence of being dumb with money. Here's the consequence of being dumb with money. More stress on your marriage. More stress on your body. Worse relationships with your children. Not having the ability to fulfill the dreams and the passions that you have for life. Need I go on? Having to work 100 hours a week just to keep the lights on, and so you miss every ball game that your kid plays. You miss every single event that your daughter has going on. You miss the ballet. You miss this. You miss that. You miss life because your money sucks. Who's been there? Me. Firsthand. None of y'all beat me because there's a 5-second delay, right? First hand up, mine. I've been there. I've been the idiot with money. I've grown up around other people that have been stupid with money. And I've seen the hell that it brings. I have seen people have to call and ask for money and then walk looking like a zombie. Have you ever seen that look? That zombie look that somebody's got? When they just are at their last straw. They've got nothing left. They're completely broke and broke in. And they're shattered like glass. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever been that? Do you want that? No? I'm going to show you how not to be that way. But you got to actually listen to what I say. Listen, guys, I've walked this road. Right? I've made the millions of dollars. I've been done with more money than most of you guys have ever seen in your life. I'm the idiot that is making, but has made many times over tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and been so freaking dumb with it. No, I didn't buy the flashy car, but I didn't control it. I'm going to show you how to build wealth. It has a lot to do with cryptocurrency because I want you to become an investor. It's not my dream necessarily for you to go and start your own business. If that's what you want to do, great. It's not my dream necessarily for you to go and do this career or that career or to become a technical analyst or a trader. Those are all great things, but they're all just stepping stones that you can take in the same direction that I want to bring every single one of you. And that is, I want you to all be investors. I want you to be investors. I want your money working for you so that you have freedom. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But it's up to you to follow. It's up to you to listen. It's up to you to be an example to the other members of this community. It's up to you to be a light to other members of the communities that you find yourselves in and share the principles of financial sovereignty with them. It's up to you to go and tell them about Bitcoin. It's up to you to go and tell them about going from a chaotic debtor to an intentional investor. It's up to you and me to share this message because it matters. The amount of pain and suffering that I have seen and you have seen, you know you have. Tell me you haven't. Of course you have. Rich, broke, Richie Rich, Brokey McBroke Pants, whoever you are, you've seen it. Maybe you're a trust fund kid and you've seen how much it screwed up your life that you didn't have to work for anything. Maybe you grew up in a gutter and you see how much it hurt that there was nobody around you to help you and teach you how to run your life. There's a lot of pain in this world, and a lot of it has to do with money. Not all of it, obviously. A lot of it has to do with just pure evil. But one of the arbiters of that evil oftentimes is finances, and so I want you to be strong in that area. I want you to be strong in the area of money. I want you to have strength there. I want you to use it meekly, and I want you to help people with it. I really want that. That's my dream. I want you to have a great life, but I want you to have strength there. Because when hard times come and the winds and the waves beat against the house, what house stands? The house is founded upon the rock. Of course, that parable is talking about founding your house on the rock of Jesus Christ. I don't deny that. Of course, that's what that scripture means. But you can also use that parable to say, when the winds and waves beat against that house and you've got some financial strength, that house doesn't fall. Capiche? Let's do this. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for 7 years now. As of yesterday, it was 7 years. Yesterday was 7 years since I got into the cryptocurrency space. So I've been here for, at this point, 2/3 of a decade. We're on our way to a decade. I've been an investor in that time, and I've done pretty well for myself, and I love teaching you guys how to do the same. And so we're going to be talking about Bitcoin today. We're going to be talking about where it has gone, where it is going, and we are going to talk about how we should respond. Because if we understand where the market is going, but we don't understand where we're going, then the market will go there without us. And if we understand what the market is doing, but we don't know what to do, then the market will do it without us. And so we're going to talk about where the market's going, and we're going to talk about where we ought to be going as well. Last time I was here on Tuesday, we talked about how Bitcoin was likely about to break through $66,000 and enter a new uptrend. Show of hands in chat. Who remembers? Actually, drop a 1 in chat. Drop a 1 in chat. Who remembers me saying that? Last Tuesday. You can go watch the stream. That talked about for 20 minutes or so on stream last week. On Tuesday, rather. We talked about how 66K was an inflection point. Bitcoin was probably going to end up breaking south of that. And if it did, it would be the first signal towards a new downtrend. And we also drew this trend line right here. And we said that Bitcoin would probably fall down to this trend line. Show of ones in chat. Who remembers me saying that? It's exactly what we talked about on Tuesday. That's exactly the level we went to, and that's exactly the corrective movement that occurred. I'm not trying to brag here. I do just want you guys to understand that when you've done technical analysis for a long time, sometimes you get it right? And that's not me. I don't want to glorify myself. What I'm trying to point out here is that the technical analysis that I'm doing works. TA works. It's not always accurate, but it never professed to be. But we can generally tell where the market's going to go. And so we had a prediction that Bitcoin's going to break south. It's going to break down to about 63.5. Right? There's a bunch of ones rolling on in chat. We also talked about how we need to pay attention for two things. MACD crossing bearish, which it now has. And we need to pay attention to the crypto Jeb oscillator flipping bearish on the 0 level, which it now has. It's so funny. People, I get these comments and they make me laugh so much. People say, Jeb, you're the biggest flip-flopper I know. Like I'm walking around and my shoes are talking. You know what the flip-flops do, right? That's me, apparently. So here's what flip-flopping looks like on this channel. Here's what flip-flopping looks like on this channel. When we were right here, I said we're probably about to go into an uptrend. Right here, I said we're in an uptrend. Right here, I said we're probably about to go into a downtrend. Right here, I said we're in a downtrend. Right here, I said we were probably about to go into a downtrend. Right here, I said we were in a downtrend. Those have been the calls over the last month and a half. The last 2 months. And the reason for that is because we follow a set of principles on this channel. I really should start tracking the calls so you guys can see my hit rate. I should do it. I really should. I'm not going to get it right every time, but I know I get it right more than I get it wrong. Quite a bit more than I get it wrong. And that, again, not trying to make myself out to be something I'm not. I'm just trying to point out that the technical analysis that I'm teaching you works. I want to glorify the principles, not myself. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We believe that the trend is our friend until it ends. What does that mean, though? You've heard that, but how do we apply that? Again, I love the philosophy. I love the principles. They're useless unless you do something about them. Wisdom is knowledge applied, my friends. The trend is your friend until it ends means that you bet on the primary trend until that primary trend is no longer the primary trend and there's a new primary trend. in the opposite direction. So the market has been confirmed to go to the upside for a variety of reasons. Potentially you saw Bitcoin MACD cross bullish. Maybe you saw the RSI break above the 14 interval moving average. Maybe you saw the crypto Jeb oscillator break above the 0 line down here, whatever it may be. Then you confirm through confirmation that the trend has now begun. And from there, when we have confirmed that the trend has begun, then what do? We bet on that trend until that trend starts to reverse. When it begins to reverse, at first, the reversal starts out as a secondary corrective movement against the primary trend. You've heard that saying before. It's a secondary movement against the primary trend. And so in this case, we're not really betting on this trend yet because it is not confirmed. At some point, though, the corrective movement against the primary trend goes far enough that it now becomes the primary trend. And we, as analysts, our entire job is to figure out when those inflection points happen. You've never heard technical analysis explained that way, but that's the simplest way I can put it after doing this for a couple tens of thousands of hours. So what we did on Tuesday is we said this is a corrective movement against the primary trend. It's still in the overall kind of zone of the uptrend. Right? We've got the higher band here, the middle band here, the bottom band here. When we broke bearish out of our uptrend right here, we were looking for some signs that this was no longer a secondary corrective movement against the primary uptrend. We were looking for it to become the new primary trend, which we did. We said if we break below 66K and if we have a bearish MACD cross, and if we have crypto Jeb oscillator hit 0, then we will call this a new downtrend and we will call that a confirmation. Which is exactly what has occurred. And so we set up our test. We tested it scientifically. We said this is our test. This is our hypothesis. Our hypothesis is that if Bitcoin falls below 66K, then the MACD and crypto Jeb oscillator will break bearish, and that we'll enter into a downtrend and we'll drop down to 63.5. We tested it by waiting, and it happened, and it confirmed. And now we have a scientific process, not proven, but a scientific process to determine whether or not we're in an uptrend. We've determined that we're in a downtrend. Now what? Now the next thing to do is to figure out where we're going. Yeah? Okay. So we saw a buy signal here. It never got confirmed. Here's the good news. Here is the good news. Bitcoin is probably not going to drop down to 53.5 like it did before. It's probably going to bounce somewhere above $60,000. At least that's what we would be looking for right about now. It's probably going to bounce somewhere above $60,000 because there is an enormous amount of visible range volume profile support right beneath us. Even right beneath us, just a couple $100 below us here at 62.8, there's a big peak here on VRVP, which indicates that there is a good deal of support below us. And so that's wonderful that there's that support there. We could even on the shorter term time frames hold support down here on this uptrending level of support right there. I'm not convinced we're going to hold it because we're having a dead cat bounce. We tried to bounce and we failed in the last couple of hours, so there's a good chance that we're going to break bearish here. And this is just a little blip in the radar, and Bitcoin's going to drop. We are in this big megaphone pattern, as you can see right there. So there is a high likelihood that Bitcoin could drop further from here. But ultimately, I believe the bottom is going to be somewhere between where it is right now and $60,000. At that point in time, we'll start looking for a bullish confirmation. That bullish confirmation may come from a bullish MACD cross. It may come from crypto Jeb oscillator flipping back to the bullish acceleration. Bullish acceleration has evaporated over the last week. And so we've got to be on the side of the bears now because we have been proven that the bears are in charge. We didn't just say, oh, look, the bears are in charge for 2 seconds. No, the bears are in charge, and that is proven by technical analysis. We have proofs for that. We can give you a proof. A proof is MACD, crypto Jeb oscillator, multiple other forms of analysis here that we could show you. So what does all this mean? Again, so where do we go with this? So we talked about the principles of technical analysis. We talked about how to actually go about doing the technical analysis, the procedural method that we go through. Here's the thing. Get the principles right, everything else falls into place. Get the principles right and adhere to them. Everything else falls into place. What do I mean? You want to be an investor? Get the principles right. Whether you succeed or fail as an investor or as a trader or as a business person or anything does have somewhat to do with chance. And sometimes it has a lot to do with chance. In the case of like a Steve Jobs or something. Genius guy, but he was in the right place at the right time. He was very lucky in that. At the same time, there were a few million people that were in the same place as him at the same time as him, but he's the one that did it. Why? Because principles were followed. and this is what the Bible teaches too. That's what it says around my necklace. This is Proverbs 4:23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. That's what the Bible says. When you get the principles right, when you get what's in the heart correct, everything else flows out. What do I mean? When you say, this is how I define an uptrend happens, this is how I define that a downtrend is happening. When I say, this is where I enter into a trend, into a trade, when this occurs. This is when I exit a trade, when this occurs. When you get the principles correct, everything else falls into place. You want to be good at real estate, get the principles right. I don't buy unless I'm getting a deal. I don't buy unless I'm buying in cash. I don't buy with debt. That's a principle. Right? You get the principles right, and then you run that system, you run that machine, that principle engine for long enough, and if they're the correct principles, you will get somewhere appealing. But if you don't run the principle machine correctly, because you have not put the right principles into that machine, then it'll run and run and run, and it'll get nowhere. And so when you get the principles right, that's when you succeed. This is how star athletes succeed. Their principle. I work out 2 hours a day. I practice my free throws every single day. This is how, one of the ways you can get a rise as a Christian. Learn it every single day. I read my Bible. Might be 10 minutes one day, might be 3 hours another day, but every day I'm reading my Bible. Every day I'm praying. For me, the principle that got this channel to 233,000 subscribers, over 7 years of hard work on it, was I'm going to upload a video every single day. I did that for the first 3.5 years of the channel's history. Every single day, with very few exceptions. There were very few, but there were a few, but very few exceptions. I uploaded, 365 days in a year. I uploaded probably 345 days a year, 350 days a year. That's the principle, and it gets you somewhere. And so when I say the principles, how do we apply that? Well, what our principle is right now is that we just saw a confirmed corrective movement, and the bottom could be several $1,000s lower. From a principled standpoint, you could say, hey, yesterday was a good time to go into a short. Maybe right now is. From my standpoint, I'm much more interested in longing because I want to bet with the overall trend. Let's not forget to zoom out. Technically, this primary downtrend is actually a secondary downtrend against the primary uptrend, which is the bull market. So we got to keep that in mind. So I'm not really going to short in a bull market. That's not what I'm going to do. I'll short in a bear market. I'm not going to long in a bear market, right? I'm going to bet with the overall primary trend, which is the bull market, right? So anyway, the point here is if you wanted to short, you could. But when we see the bottom and we see that confirmed uptrend, that's when we say, all right, time to go into a long. And as we go further down, I'm not going to encourage you to short because you don't know whether it's going to keep going down or not. It's a bull market. We've got a lot of bullish things going on. It's going to do fine. Here's what you do instead. Instead of saying, I'm going to short here, I don't think that's very wise. You can do it if you want, if you're a very skilled trader and you've done a lot of analysis on it. But for most of you, that's not the right call. The right call is to say, we're dropping, buy more. Again, you can be a trader if you want. That's a source of generating income. I want you to become an investor. That's what I want from you. I want you to become an investor. Being a trader is fine. You can do that. Being a doctor is fine. You can do that. Being a technical analyst is fine. You can do that. Being a surgeon, being a car mechanic, whatever. Those are all fine professions. But if you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die, as Warren Buffett says. And it's the truth. I want you to become an investor. That's my goal for you. Increase your income a good deal. Lower your expenses a great deal. Get out of debt, have a budget, and invest as much as you can. Make as much money as you can. What did all these people do? What did Cardone do? What did Buffett do? What did Ramsey do? What did Patrick Bet-David do? What did... Name them. Name a rich guy out there, rich gal out there. What'd they do? Expenses low, income high, invest as much money as they can for years. What did Cardone do? Said, I was making $1 million a year, lived on $30,000 a year for 20 years. I invested all of it. Now he's got $4 billion of real estate. Oh, but Jeb, he takes out debt. You don't agree with that. What I do agree with is the fact that he invested all of his money for decades. Yeah, he should. I think he would be better off doing it without debt. But here's the thing. He got everything else right. Or not everything, but almost everything else right. How did Ramsey do it? Low expenses, high income, invested it for years. What did Patrick Bet-David do? He said in one of his videos, he said, when I married my wife, I told her, just so you know, I'm not buying a house for 5 years. She said, what? He said, I'm not buying a house for 5 years. This is before they got married. So he's just putting this out here. Like, hey, just so you know, when we get married, I'm not buying a house for 5 years. We're going to rent. She said, what? And when they bought a house, they bought a $20 million freaking house because not having to worry about the house meant he could go make a boatload of money and just invest all of it. How did any of them do it? How did any of them do it? They made a lot of money. They kept their expenses super low. They did not go into stupid debt. Some of them took out debt for their investments, which I don't think is the best thing to do, but you can do that. And it's not smart, but you can do it, and you can still succeed that way. And they invested as much money as they could. They're all investors. Yeah, they all run companies, but the way they made their wealth was by becoming investors. Sure, Dave Ramsey's got Financial Peace University, but the reason he's worth so much money is because he's an investor. The business generates income that he invests. The real estate portfolio that he's got's way bigger than the company. The company makes a lot of money, but there's expenses there. Cardone, he's got $4 billion in real estate. Sure, he's got a few hundred employees doing sales stuff, but that's just to generate income so he can funnel more money into investments. Patrick Bet-David found a PHP agency, took it off to he sold it for what? $800 billion valuation, pocketed $350 million. Of course he was building that. He wasn't passionate about life insurance. He tried to make himself passionate about it. The reason that he built all that the way that he did that is he took that and he invested a bunch of it. Name someone. Name somebody worth over $100 million. Graham Stephan, he's not worth $100 million, but he's worth 25, right? How do you do it? Makes a bunch of money on YouTube, invests all of it. Or next to all of it. Dude's worth $25 million bucks, drinking 14-cent iced coffee. You want to get rich? Look at all the people that have 100x your net worth, and sum total all of the things that they all do in common and do those at least. And you're going to take your own spin on it. For me, I think debt is stupid. You could not pay me enough to take out debt. You could not give me a sexy enough opportunity to say, I'm going to take out debt for that. I'm not going to do it. I would rather have the peace of not having debt, even if it means I grow slower. I'm not going to grow slower because I don't have to put all my money towards the bank. I don't have to make the bank richer. I'm making myself wealthier. So I have more money to give. So I don't, there's going to be some differences. You're going to do it your own way. But what do they all have in common? They worked their butts off. They invested as much as they could. They're all investors. What did I do? I'm an investor. The times I've succeeded with money, I've been in control of my money, I've been out of debt, and I've invested. It's that simple. And I've enjoyed it with my family, of course. And I've been generous with it. Those are 5 things. So do that, you'll succeed. So what do we do right now? Again, principles. What's our principle right now? Low expense, high income, invest. Put it in Bitcoin. If you don't know where to put it, stick it in Bitcoin. If you don't know where to put it, stick it in the S&P 500. This is not necessarily about where to get the optimal return. That is details, and we can talk about the details all day long. The most important thing is that you're getting your expenses as low as you can while also still enjoying your life and not just being a slave to your financial portfolio, and then investing as much as you can. Figure out a way to do a bunch of stuff that you enjoy that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Hey, I would enjoy going to the beach just as much as I'd like going on a ski trip. Then go to the freaking beach and wait until you're rich before you go on the ski trip. Yeah? Oh, I would enjoy a homemade burrito just as much as I would love a burrito from Chipotle. Okay, take the extra half an hour and make some beans, man. That's the difference. I preach the same thing every day. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. Listen, I'm going to tell you the same thing over and over and over again. Do the same thing over and over and over again. How do you get successful with your personal finances? Control. How do you get successful with your investments? Consistently. So if you control your money and you control them consistently, then they will grow. All that starts in here. All that starts with getting this guy right. Getting the guy in the mirror right. This is not about Kamala Harris, whether you think she's crazy or not. This is not about Trump, whether you think he's crazy or not. This is not about what the Kardashians did. This is not about what's going on in Hollywood. This is not about January 6th. This is not about abortion rights. This is not about gun control. This is about you looking in the mirror and say, I'm in charge now. That's what it's about. And until you have that moment, you're not going to go anywhere. Because here's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think, I'll keep being stupid with my money. This is not how they word it in their head. They justify. It's full of justification. Oh, well, I need to do that. Like for me, I don't want to learn how to cook. I make $80,000 a month. Why should I learn how to cook? And so I spend $2,000 a month eating out. $2,000 a month, 10x that's $20,000 a month in cash flow I could have generated instead of eating out. Sure, it's only a small percentage of my income. Why would I do that? That's a dumb way to spend my money. Why would I do that? It's the justification, right? You got all this justification in your mind. Oh, well, It's the little one shoulder shrug and like, whatever. It's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. And then I try and tell you, you say, it's fine. Jeb, same stuff every day. Jeb. Listen, I love you. Please listen. Now, I understand if you're like, Jeb, you're repeating yourself. I'll get that. But please, take what I'm saying. If you want to tell me I should say it different, that's fine. But please listen to me. Because I did this for years. I did the stupid stuff with money. Succeed with money. Follow the Finsolve way. 6 laws of money. Choose to be financially sovereign. You look in the mirror and you say, you're done, dude. You suck with money. I'm doing it. I'm going to be in control of it from now on. There's 2 of you. You don't have bipolar, or you're not bipolar, you're not multiple personality disorder, none of that, but there's 2 of you. There's the chaotic version of you, and there's the version of you that is hungering and thirsting for order in your life. My son is 3 years old. He knows how to clean up his whole room. That's not normal. You know why he does that? Because I taught him. Because it is an act of God to bring order to something. That's why there's that part of you inside of you that is longing for order and cannot stand the chaos. But the hedonist inside of you just wants to do whatever feels good. You got to put that guy to death, and you got to put him in a little box and say, okay, we're going to do what feels good for this hour a day, for these 2 hours a day. Otherwise, we're going to figure out how to enjoy the things that we need to get done. There are times I've done this stream feeling like I was about to fall over out of the chair and pass out and just puke and just like... I have done this stream with food poisoning. I have made videos and done this stream with COVID. It doesn't always feel good, but it always feels good later. You get that? It always feels good later. Sometimes 10 o'clock. My wife's bedridden. She can barely walk. We're almost about to have a baby. She can barely move. Poor lady. Sometimes it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to clean up the kitchen. Are you kidding me? I don't want to do dishes. Guess what? I want to walk into my kitchen, which is a freaking beautiful kitchen, by the way. We have a really nice house. I love it. I want to walk into my kitchen the next day saying, my kitchen looks good. I'm not going to forget that I was like, I didn't want to do that. I'm not going to remember that it took me 5 extra minutes to clean things up. What I'm going to remember is I walked into that kitchen and it felt good. That's what I'm going to remember. It's not about doing what feels good in the moment. It's about doing what feels good later. And so, how does this translate to Bitcoin? Because again, I like to at least loosely root all of this in Bitcoin. How does this translate to Bitcoin? Here's how. Cut your expenses. What can you cut out? What are some subscriptions that you can get rid of? What are some overhead you can get rid of? Do you have 3 cars in the front yard? You only need 1. Maybe you need 2 if you got a family. I want all of you as a baseline to be worth $10 million. All of you. Depending on how much, how young you are, that is more or less possible. I want all of you to be at least worth $1 million. Unless you're like 95 or you're physically incapacitated. If you can give me 5 to 10 years of work, I can show you how to be a millionaire. Any of you that live in the United States and are not literally in slavery, because that is still a thing. It's illegal in America, but it's still a thing. Any of you that live in the United States are free, are over the age of 18, younger than 100, and have at least 10 years of working in your future, and you're not physically incapacitated, I'll show you every single one of you how to be a millionaire. Every single last one of you. And it starts right here. You get control of the guy in the mirror. You get rid of the debt because you have wasted so much of your life being a slave to others when you could have been putting that time and energy into becoming a better version of yourself. You're going to keep your expenses low while still enjoying your life. Now, you're not enjoying nothing if you're in debt. A wise person declares war on a threat to their life, which is what a lot of this debt is. A wise person declares war on Adolf Hitler because he's a threat to the very existence of modern civilization. Yeah? A wise person declares war on something, and you're not necessarily enjoying any part of that. There's nothing fun about war. It freaking sucks. When we had to go to war on chaos and go to war on debt in our business and in our personal life, it sucked. Long nights, some nights. Stress. It's not fun, but you do it because you want to be happy later that you did. I want you to look back and say, 5 years ago, Jeb, because that's a different version of you that happened 5 years ago. I'm glad you existed. I'm glad you did what you did. I'm thankful for you. You look back 5 years and say, oh my gosh, who was that guy? I hate him. I can't stand that guy. Before I was a Christian, I would literally entertain myself by doing stuff to screw myself over in the future. I'm like, in 4 hours, I'm really going to get myself with this. How immature. Like in 4 hours, this is really going to annoy me that I did this. I am not kidding. But how often do we do that? How often have you done that? How often do we do something knowing full well it's going to screw over our future self? In the future, this is going to really suck that we did this. And we do it anyway. Right now, what you've got to do is you've got to get down on your knees. You've got to say, I am done. I repent. This is a bold message that a lot of people don't want to hear because they don't want to hear that they are the reason that they are where they are. I, for one, am happy that I am the reason that I am where I am because I like where I am. You know why? Because I took the cost and I paid it. How do we do this now? Lower your expenses. Get out of debt. Build a budget. I will teach you how to do all of those things in FinSov Academy that'll be launching later this year. We're going to do all of it together. For now, I'm talking about it. We're building an academy. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. And then you become an investor. When you see my face, right? When you see this guy, I want you to think this. This is personal branding 101. See my face, think this. Chaotic debtor, it's where 98% of America is. Intentional investor. Life's better when you're intentional and when you're an investor. By the way, that's not just money. I'm investing in my future in one way by having children. I love children. One of the best investments you will ever make. If you're not a parent and you say, Jeb, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about because you've never had a baby look up at you with those little eyes and just melt your heart in half a second. You've never had a kid scream for 3 hours and then they bat their lashes at you. You're like, ah, and then just melt you. You've never had that happen. My wife is paying a huge price right now. It is miserable being pregnant for her. She has really hard pregnancies. But I tell you what, she's glad that we've got the other two, and she's going to be glad that we've got this one. I'm not putting words in her mouth. That's what, that's her take on it. It's an investment. It hurts in the moment. It's good later. So what do we do? Again, we pay the price now. What's that price? Maybe the price for right now is you're not buying that new car. Maybe you are. I'm not saying don't enjoy your wealth. You should. You can't just invest forever and then never enjoy your money. I want you to build a life, not a financial portfolio. The financial portfolio is to support the life, right? But especially in the early stages, we need to make sacrifices so that we can make investments. What are you going to give up? As soon as this stream is over, take out a piece of paper. Some of the most powerful things in human history have begun with these. These two right here. These guys will change the world if you let them. Get out a piece of paper. What can you eliminate? Starbucks. First thing that comes to mind. Truck in the front driveway. Let's see. New clothes. You know how expensive it is to clothe 3 kids? For us, not much. You know where we get all their clothes? We get them for 14 cents a piece. You know how? Facebook Marketplace, children's clothes, anything under the age of like 6 to 8, they will sell you lots of like 300 clothes. Sure, we could go buy them all new clothes and spend $3,000. Why would we do that? Samuel, we have the next 5 years of his clothes in not Ziploc, vacuum seal bags in our attic. That kid's got clothes until the cows come home. You know how much they all cost? Probably like $400. 5 years of clothes, $400. There are clothes that we have bought with a tag still on them. There's hundreds of pieces of clothes for all 3 of our kids like this. We buy them in lots on Facebook Marketplace. Deep clean them, sanitary load, all that so they're fresh. There are tags on them, $60 brand new pair of Nikes that the kid's going to wear twice. We got them, you average it out, 13 cents. Where can you cut expenses? New clothes. That's a big one. That's a really big one. You can make it on a family of 5 with a $100 a month closing budget. Try me. You can do it. Eating out. Let's see. Date night. Maybe you're in so much debt. That's my southern twang came out. Debt. So much debt. Maybe you're in so much debt that you got to do free date nights. Trips. It's another big one. You can't afford to go on the destination wedding when you're broke. Take it out. Let's see if it'll focus. Take it out. Pen and paper. Come on. Get your name in it. Get in the game. What are you going to cut out? Here's what happens. Where does that money go? Now you got money in your budget. Awesome. What do you do with it? Buy Bitcoin. If you don't know what else to buy the stock market and Bitcoin. I'm serious. If you don't know what else to buy, because a lot of you guys are watching right now, you're like, okay, I invest, but what do I invest in? It's a great question. I get that a lot in coaching. If you don't know what to buy the United States S&P 500 first in your retirement accounts, 401k, Roth IRA. First. Till you got a few $1,000,000 in retirement. After that, if you want to stop the retirement investing, you can. But until you got a few $1,000,000 in retirement, invest in those. In your 401k and Roth IRA, right? After that, you can also buy Bitcoin. If you don't know what to buy Bitcoin, buy the S&P 500. If you really want to get frisky with it, buy real estate. That's what we're working on. We're saving up money to buy real estate. Saving enough to buy real estate. We're going to start getting into real estate. We've already got our house, obviously, but it's not renting because we own it. But we're building equity, so of course that's helpful. Only debt we have is the mortgage. We're working on paying that off quick. You know, so that's how you build wealth. You buy, especially, and then here's what you do. Here's how we get into the crypto element of it. When the market drops, because we've got our TA here saying, yeah, I'm trying to show you how this all ties together, how the TA and the FA and the news and the politics, the geopolitics and the investing and all that ties together. I want you to see the complete picture. When we've got the confirmation that Bitcoin's going into a crash, into a corrective movement, then we start to say, okay, well, we've done all these other things in the personal finances, so now we've got money. Here's what we do. We're going to dump it into Bitcoin. As Bitcoin drops, we put more in. Maybe we're going to put $100 a week in. Maybe it goes lower. We're going to put $125 a week. Maybe it goes lower. We're going to put $10,000 a week. Put $15,000 a week. Whatever, into Bitcoin. As it goes lower, you buy more. You lower your average cost basis. That's called your ACB, average cost basis. It's a very important number. It's the average that you paid for all of your cryptocurrency in a certain portfolio. So let's say you bought it $100,000, $80,000, $60,000. You bought the same amount at all three levels. Your average cost basis is $80,000. Right? Because it's the average. You take the average of all the entry prices of the certain portfolio, the average cost basis of the certain portfolio of a single asset. It only works for a single asset. Get your average cost basis as low as you can. The way you do that is when it goes low, you buy even more than you normally would. That dramatically lowers your average cost basis, which will dramatically increase the amount of wealth that you build when you reach the top. Because if the average cost basis is $50,000 versus $75,000, well, when you get to $100,000, then instead of making 50%, then instead of making 50%, maybe you made 100%. Maybe you doubled your money, right? Whatever that would be. Be $66,000, I guess, right? But anyway, so that's the point. So that's what we do. Build wealth. I want you to succeed. I really do. That's my dream. And so you got to do these things if you want to succeed. If you don't, then you won't. I also want you to protect yourself. Because you're going to build wealth if you watch this channel. If you watch this channel and you do what I say, you're going to build wealth. It's just going to, it's going to happen. You're following the right principles. If you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're actually doing what I'm saying, you're going to build wealth. Again, I mean, crazy things can happen, but you're going to build wealth. I don't want you to lose it. So somewhere along the journey, you need to sign up for NordVPN. The link's in the description box down below. You can get the next 2 years for $93. $93. It's nothing. That's nothing. I mean, it's something, but it's not much to protect yourself. NordVPN is the #1 security provider in the world. Hands down, bar none, NordVPN is where it's at. When you sign up for NordVPN, they are going to be rerouting your internet traffic through their own servers so that nobody can see it, so nobody can hack you and steal from you. It's that simple. There's also another service that they have called Incogni, which you can find at the same link. And NordVPN and Incogni work together to keep you invisible. I'll give you guys more information on that another day. But the point is, NordVPN, great place to get started. Make sure to check them out. The link in the description box down below. Shadrach Frost said, Jeb, you are very articulate in your explanations. People need to be patient and see the bigger picture. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Get-rich-overnight scheme. It takes discipline. That's right. It does. Mike Lowry said, I quit smoking almost 2 years ago now and have been putting that money into crypto ever since. That is awesome. Good job. That's amazing. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I want to see. What are some other stories like that? Give me some other stories. What other stories do you guys have of that, of cutting income, increasing expenses? All right. Janik said, I'm interested. $80K a month can't just be YouTube, right? No, I mean, well, you know, the thing is, here's the beautiful thing about being an influencer. And if any of you guys are interested in putting yourselves out there, I do recommend it if you want to expose yourself to the light, because there are a lot of people that are going to be a jerk to you, and you do put yourself at some risk. But when you're teaching millions of people, think about the way capitalism works. The way that you make money is by helping people. There's two ways you make money. There's two ways that how much money you make is derived from. Either one, you help a lot of people a little bit. McDonald's, they make 50 cents off a profit off of every single person they serve. Whatever. Maybe it's a lot more than that. Who knows? But you serve everybody a little bit. Everybody gets a cup of coffee and it's $5. Or you serve a fewer number of people and you serve them a lot. You give them a lot of value, and so they give you a lot of money in return. That's why financial coaching is $250 an hour, and I still got people buying it. I'm giving you a lot of value. One-on-one coaching where I'm going to change I'm just going to like dig deep and say, if you want to succeed, do this, right? It's worth it, right? It's bringing value. A lot of value, one-on-one. When you're in my position and you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people watching you, and you're able to provide them a lot of value, then That's kind of how capitalism works. You end up making a lot of money. And so, have I always made that much money? No. Have I made well over 6 figures a year from the company side of things? Remember, there's me and there's the company. I own the company fully. We own the company fully. But has the company made over 6 figures for like 6 years? Yeah. Has it made 7 figures a few years? Yeah. Why does that happen? Is it because I'm some gravy snob? No. It's because I've helped people, right? It's because I've helped hundreds of thousands of people build wealth and learn about cryptocurrency. And so that brings value to people. So yeah, we've done those kind of numbers. I mean, this is, let's see if I can not run over my cord here. All right. Ran over my, there we go. This is our, CT2A, you guys have heard about it. This is our $1 million in sales reward for it. Award. See if it'll focus. It's not going to focus. Let's see if it'll focus. Not going to focus. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, listen, what I want you guys to do is figure out how can you help as many people as you can. Like the reason CT2A made well over $1 million was because we helped a bunch of people. It's $400. We had 50 people buy it in a day sometimes. You do the math. The reason that it made so much money is because it helped people a lot. That's the reason FinSolve Academy is going to be so successful, because I'm going to help a lot of you guys. I'm going to make it low price, but we're going to help a lot of you guys. And you know what we're going to do with the money? Am I going to go like swim in it and throw it on the bed and do no. That's gross. I'm not a greedy pig. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to grow the business, and I'm going to use that to hire people around me that'll help me preach this message to as many of you guys as possible, because I know that what I'm teaching you guys will change your ever-loving life if you'll just do it. And I want as many people as possible to hear what God teaches on money, because when you follow God, you have blessings, period. And when you follow the 6 laws of money, all of which are biblical, then you end up having a better life, period. End of story. So yeah, you guys would be surprised. I'm just probably the only guy in crypto that's actually willing to actually say it. But yeah, there's a lot of money in making YouTube videos, especially in finance content. Totally. I'm probably going to make it all public one day. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm providing value. I'm called a capitalist, right? So yeah. Yeah, you can make $80,000 a month being a crypto YouTuber. Make a lot more than that. I know guys make $1 million a month being a crypto YouTuber. I'm a small fish, guys. I know what some people make on a video. I know what some people make on a video, and it's not a bad thing. It's marketing. It's advertising. I won't say it because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, because there are a lot of people out there like, oh my gosh, you made money. You're evil. Yeah, I got to call my henchman and get you. But no, there's a lot of money to be made when you're doing advertising for companies that are, I mean, NordVPN, Vault, and I don't know if Vault is. I'm not sure if Uphold. No, Uphold's probably $1 billion company at this point too. All 3 of those sponsors are $1 billion companies, multi-billion dollar companies. I mean, NordVPN, Crypto.com, multi-hundred billion dollar, multi-tens of billions of dollar companies. Of course, there's money. That's the way capitalism works. So, where do we go next? We'll kind of wrap out on crypto, because I know I've talked a lot about the, change your life kind of message here. Let's wrap out on crypto. Bitcoin is currently trading at 63.8. I sense a drop coming in the short-term future. Ethereum is trading at 31.39. I also sense a drop coming in the short-term future. If we go to far-side investors, we'll be able to see the flow of the ETFs. There's not been a great degree of inflows on Ethereum as far as net. And that's mainly because you've had a lot of outflows coming from Grayscale. That is starting to slow down now, though. Grayscale has lost approximately 23% of their holdings so far. And if the Bitcoin ETF is anything to go by, the first 90 days will see most of their outflows. And after that, then Grayscale will not be holding down the numbers. We are seeing growth in the funds. So, for example, we do have approximately $1.5 billion of inflows that have gone into the other funds. We've just also seen $2 billion of outflows from Grayscale. So far, total, we've had $483 million of outflows. But if you take out Grayscale's outflows, then we've actually seen $1.5 billion of inflows, and not a single other fund for a single day has had a single bit of net outflows. Not one. Not one. Has not happened at all. So at this point in time, we've got to follow the data here. And the data says that that Grayscale outflows are slowing down. And of course, they can only go for so long because there's only $9.2 billion in seed funding there. That's how much was in there at the beginning. Grayscale's raking in money. And that's going to turn around, and the ETF is going to start performing well. If you'll recall, our original prediction for Bitcoin and for Ethereum was a 7 to 14 day, 10 to 20% crash on Ethereum as soon as the ETFs launch. It's been 9 days. We've dropped 10%. In that prediction, we could still drop for another several days. And honestly, 10 to 14 days was a little bit conservative. I really think we could drop longer than that. I just didn't want to get, I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up too much. But yeah, I mean, a drop's coming, but it's going to reverse. There's going to be a lot of value coming into the Ethereum ETF. It's an incredibly valuable product. The amount of financial technology that's being built on top of Ethereum is astronomical. It's astronomical. And so as Wall Street starts to realize, okay, ETF's getting a lot of inflows. Yes, we're having a lot of outflows from Grayscale, but everything else is doing well. The BlackRock fund is doing great. The Fidelity fund is doing great. Those are the main two, ETH A and FETH. FETH is such an unfortunate ticker symbol, by the way. But nevertheless, Fidelity's Ethereum. Those are both seeing a huge amount of inflows. Collectively, probably almost $1 billion. Yeah, about $1 billion of inflows between the two of those in the first week and a half. That's a pretty good sign. So let's stay tuned. Let's not jump off the boat too soon. We always knew this was going to be a relatively hard opener, but it's going to be fine. We just got to give it time. Roll Hendricks said, late as always, but checking from the beginning. Much love to the fam and CryptoJeb community. Thank you so much. Said, hit them likes right now. This man being live right now. I am. Yeah, we don't know when the baby's coming. So, guys, I appreciate all of your prayers over the last few weeks about that. We are going to be 37 weeks this Sunday, which means the baby's coming in the next 3 weeks. Absolutely. Probably sometime this week or next week. That's what we said last week. I know. But, that's where I think we're going to go. So, very excited for that. And obviously, I'll be taking about a week and a half probably off at the beginning, assuming everything's healthy. If not, I'll take longer off. But, the reason I'm able to do that is because while this is what I do for a living, I'm an investor. I built our investments. We could live off of our investments if we wanted to, right? We're at that position where we're financially sovereign. So I get the freedom to take a week and a half off and just kind of focus on enjoying my newborn son. So I want you guys to be in that position. Like, I'm not, again, there's not a bone in my body who wants to brag or make myself out to be something I'm not. I just want to see you guys succeed, and really hope that you guys will follow along with the teachings that we're doing, and stay tuned. Because listen, I know one of the biggest criticisms, you guys know, I've got this whole hashtag. I want to see it in chat. Hashtag own it. One of the big criticisms that people give me is like, Jeb, you're talking about this, and we're supposed to be talking about crypto. I get that. I totally get that. Here's my plan. Let's see. Neil's in chat saying that, and VREX said that. Please talk about crypto. I totally respect what you're saying. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be finding a way to kind of separate out the content where on Coffee and Crypto, we're probably mainly talking about crypto again, like we used to. And then we're going to be having some other content where I'll be talking a lot about the financial sovereignty stuff. Probably going to be starting a second channel because I get that. I totally respect that. That's obviously best business practice is people came for one thing, give them that thing. That's what you asked for. I totally get that. And so we're going to be working on that. I want you guys to understand that we own that. And that is a part of our business strategy moving forward, is kind of making sure those both have their own verticals where they're not cannibalizing each other. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I want you guys to know we're going to do everything that it takes to build this company and to build this channel and this vision and this mission as much as we possibly can, because I dream of you guys succeeding in finances. I dream of getting as many people in the door as possible, and that's going to take a lot of wisdom. So stay tuned. Bitcoin is currently dropping down to 63.7, so we're going to want to pay close attention to that. Again, if it drops below 63.5 or so, that's where we're going to want to see. That's where we're going to see a major test come in. If we drop below 63.7, that's where we're going to need to see. We're probably going to be seeing some kind of major confirmation. All right, let's read chat for just a second. As we get ready to read chat, I also want to let you guys know about one of our sponsors who I am very excited about, guys. There's a video coming out on them. This is an incredible product that I'm so pumped about. This is called Vault. It's by Uphold. The way this works is that you have two keys. You have your Vault key, which is the key, and you have a backup key. This is called a multi-signature 2/3 configurative wallet. What does that mean? Multi-signature. When you send a transaction, you got to sign off on it, right? You got to check, you got to sign it. Yeah? Think about it like this. You've got a check, and it works as such. You have 3 people that can sign the check. 2 of them have to sign the check to send it. Or actually, it's more like you have 2 signatures, and somebody else has a signature. So let's say you lose one of your pens. Like, you've got to sign it with. You have to. Let's put it this way. You have to sign it with 2 of 3 different pens. You've got a blue pen and a red pen, and somebody else holds a yellow pen. Right. So if you lose your blue pen or your red pen, then you can have the yellow pen come in and sign the check and send it off. That's the way this works. Whereas normally you only have one pin. You just sign it with whatever and you send it off. Well, if you lose your pin or if you lose the check, then you lost your money. It's gone. Loose analogy, but you get the point. With Uphold's vault, should you lose a key, one of your keys, then you also lose your coins. Not good. Not good at all. Uphold has an Uphold key that will regenerate that key that you lost, regenerate the entire wallet, and bring you back to where you started, which is very, very, very helpful. All right, let's read some chat. Okay, let's see. Pyro Scheme 74 said, you guys are reading into the short term too much. 95% of Bitcoin holders are profitable. Strong hands make money here. That's right. Profit or break even. Yep, absolutely. Lars said, Bitcoin is a long-term asset. One day it will surpass gold in market capitalization. None of you are bullish enough. Yes, for sure. We need to hold Bitcoin for years. My best investments that I've ever made my entire life are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I held them for years. Years. Let's see. Good morning, Jeb, and everyone praying for you to win the day today. God loves you. He does. God loves us. Thank you so much. Oh, did your charts tell you all this the other day? It was going up. Yes, it was going up until it stopped going up. That's what we talked about. It goes up until you have a confirmation that's going to go down. Exactly. Love reading chat. Good morning, Jeb the GOAT, praying for you and your family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, Jeb. Please give us some hope on these dark days. Absolutely. Yeah, there's plenty of hope, guys. Bitcoin's fine. Bitcoin is totally fine. It's totally fine. And the reason that I'm able to say that with so much confidence is because it's for the first time reaching mass adoption. We're moving very close, moving very far into the realm of mass adoption. Folks, let's hit that like button right away. I would also strongly encourage everyone to share this stream and spread the hashtag FinSolveWays. Absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Hey, we're going to wrap it out, and I'm going to work on the other content today. And guys, listen, after the baby comes, we got all settled in. Now, for the first 2 months or so, I might be like, oh, wait, it might be, a little bit in and out, just making sure that my wife and the baby are healthy. But after probably about 2 months, we're going to be hitting the ground running. And we're going to be building FinSolve Academy. You guys have heard about it for like a year. You're like, man, I'm looking forward to it actually coming. It's on its way. It's in the process of being built. And when it comes, you guys are going to love it. It's going to be so great. And we're going to teach you all how to succeed with money as you follow along us in our wealth building journey. And I'm really excited to see where all of you guys will go. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. I am so excited that you're here. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good